Scene one. Here we are. Open up the browser again. Yeah. Sick. Angry.
Well, had to make sure
fucking
it was
door,
shut. Just in case, there's no one else here, but want to make sure no outside interference. Welcome back, guys.
Welcome.
Episode 3. As we proceed to give you what you need. Should be a rapper.
I was gonna say you just come up with a shot off the top of your head like that. How?
I'm like a wannabe Harry Mack. Oh,
You
dude.
did write down some stuff, huh?
A few things. This is last week, actually.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, we're past all that. But I did want to revisit a few. Anyways, how's it going, guys? Wanted to say that. I don't know if I said that yet, but happy to be back. Happy you guys are back. I see that a lot of people have been watching our episodes.
At least watching the recordings, not necessarily the live stream, but
Yeah.
that's alright.
That's still just as good, man. Because
Yeah.
people have taken the time and found something interesting in our conversation.
Yeah, and
That's really cool. I want to thank you guys for that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
definitely.
I know Danny likes that too.
I do. I was really surprised when I seen the views on the episode online, so I was like, wow.
I was too. I was like, it was like 240 some views or something like that. And I was like, holy shit. I mean, that's a lot to us.
Yeah, especially we've only been doing it. This is our second week now. So.
Yeah. Second week, episode 3, and like we're just gonna keep grinding on this, keep that steady, consistent progress, try to put out that quality, and just keep talking about some thought-provoking stuff for you guys. Maybe you'll find it interesting, maybe you'll find it boring. Let's just keep doing it though. But yeah, how was your day today, man?
My
Did you just
day?
get up?
I've been like in and out most of the day, you know?
In and out, huh?
Yeah, I had a little too much fun last night, so paying the price today. But
Right on.
but it hasn't been bad. It's just been like very lethargic, you know, like sitting there like I gotta get up and eat and drink some water, and all right, I'm gonna go lay back down, pass out for a little bit.
Yeah, you
Very
know,
uneventful.
yeah, drinking that's what it, yeah, I don't know. Last night I had that beer, and that was the first beer I drank since, a couple months ago. It was funny because I really didn't,
You weren't enjoying it?
no, I didn't even feel it, but I
Okay.
definitely didn't want another beer. I
Yeah.
was like, one's good, I don't need it. I had way too much fun 2 months ago, and that's enough fun for 2 years, really.
Yeah, I think I had a little bit too much fun this last week or two. I think I need to chill for a while.
Nice.
So,
Yeah.
that's because it's making me unproductive as well. So,
That's usually why I don't want to do it, because you know me, man. Whenever I smoke weed or I drink, specifically when I smoke weed, I'm just not on my A game. I just have a hard time keeping up with the checklist of things that I got, and I mean, I'm still a productive stoner when I do smoke weed, but it's just diminished by far. You know what I mean?
that's where me and you are different because I'm not productive at all, you know?
Yeah.
Not
Well,
doing any sense.
I think I'm still not productive. I'm just more productive than the average stoner when I smoke.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
definitely.
And of course, I gave that up, and I was like 25 years of hardcore smoke, and I don't smoke now. I did probably a few months back. When was it? January? Yeah, in January.
I thought you were doing it in February. No, it was in February. I moved here in February.
Oh yeah. So yeah, it was mid-February. I smoked. God, it was like a few weeks or something. It was
Maybe
a
maybe
while.
a month tops.
Yeah, I really got into a bad groove there, and I hated it.
Yeah, I know you're like a different person when you smoke. It's like me. I'm like a different person right now. I'm drinking than I was when I first moved in. When I was like sober on my A game, going to college and stuff.
Yeah, it's funny. I didn't think we were gonna talk about that, but
No, it's fine. We can.
I like talking about it because it's real life. It's a part of my life.
I think it's because I just got kind of complacent. I'm just sitting here every day. You know what I mean? It's just the pandemic's really just messed with me. So I don't know. I just have a problem with it sometimes. So and I
Yeah,
don't have any other things that are like super motivating me at the moment. I mean, like this is really cool, obviously, but I mean, like I was really motivated to go to the gym all the time and to be social, and when I went to college and stuff, and now I'm just sitting here, I'm like, well, what am I gonna do? And I drink, and then I'm like, okay, I'll do my homework tomorrow, and then I don't get around to it, so it's just holding me back a lot right now.
Well, that's cool. They say the first step is recognizing the problem. That's true, though, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the same way. I can relate. For me, it was just checking out. I wanted to check out. Is that kind of...
Yeah, basically. It's just, I'm so fucking bored right now. There's nothing to do, so it's like...
It's a vicious cycle, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, smoking and drinking is just a way for people to check out. It was my reason for doing it. I wanted to check out after a hard, long day. Like back in my smoking days, like today would have been a smoking day. I just worked 10 hours right up until like 15 minutes before the podcast. I just walked into my scrubs. I worked 10 hours and built a 27 foot by 12 deck. Literally just changed my clothes, did my hair, scarfed down some food, and came up here. Isn't that crazy?
Dude, it was crazy. I was like, I don't even know if he's gonna make it here in time. I'm like, but we said 7 o'clock, so I was just gonna start the stream by myself. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna like monologue. Maybe I'll play guitar a little bit or something. It's gonna be a little
that
bit
would have been
different.
interesting, yeah.
But I was gonna stick with the schedule regardless, So
good for you, man. Because I was funny because sometimes I got to step up to the plate, and like you said, you're like, oh, I didn't think you worked on Saturdays. I'm like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I mean, I usually do appointments and things, but I definitely don't do the physical labor part of it. But I just had to step up to the plate for a lot of reasons, not finding good help, and then which is another topic I actually wrote down. We can get into that a little bit later. But yeah, man, it was a really stressful day because, especially up until the moment I got here, I was like, oh shit, I got a podcast at 7. Like, start wrapping tools up. Let's close this up. And then, so that was fun. I wonder how many people are out there working 10 hours a day of physical labor right before their podcast.
I don't know, but
I'd like to hear from
I've
them.
definitely worked 12-hour days before, but not in physical labor. Like I couldn't imagine working 10 hours of manual labor.
Yeah, I'm a little sore.
I bet.
But I was productive, so that was a good feeling.
That's cool.
It was a really good feeling. But yeah, that's fun stuff. But yeah, the smoking thing, that's a really interesting topic. I don't want to diminish from that too much, but I use it to check out, and I'm so happy I don't smoke anymore. I smoked for 25 years, and that was my life. I mean, there was really only 1 7-month period. And I'm not knocking people who smoke. Like, that's their thing, you know what I mean? People are in different stages of their life, and people want to check out sometimes. Just for me, I have so many goals and I just have too much on my checklist. So when I check out of life, all that stuff just gets accumulated. Much like any bad mistake that is made, you're usually paying for that mistake years on after that. The position you're in right now is because of decisions that you made years prior to that.
Yeah, really
and that's how my mindset is now. I'm very aware of the decisions I make now are going to be residual in playing a huge role in the upcoming years. You know what I mean?
Actually, I don't really think about it that way, so that's correct, you know what I mean? So
absolutely.
I should probably start thinking like that a little bit more.
Yeah, it's kind of scary and motivating at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's really helped me to think that way, actually. But it's a good feeling to not smoke because, obviously I'm just like everyone else. I want to check out. I want to smoke and drone out and, play video games and whatever.
Yeah, I realized is like a lot of it was like I was having anxiety about the virus,
Yeah.
Not the podcast, but the actual virus.
Not the podcast, the pandemic.
Yeah, about the pandemic. So I was always stressed out about it. And I was like, you know what? I need to unwind, have some drinks, and that's kind of how it started. But I realize now, I always realize this after I stop drinking, after I go on like a little binge for a little bit, is that it doesn't make the feelings go away. It just kind of puts them on the back burner, and then they come back. So it's like now I'm like coming back to reality of the situation. I'm like, oh shit, this is stressful.
You got to deal with it eventually. You either deal with it or you don't for a while, and then you deal with it again.
Yeah, especially with drinking. I've always said that drinking, when you get drunk, you're literally just like borrowing your happiness from the future.
Absolutely, that's a great way of looking at it. Yeah, it's like I said, it's just a vicious cycle is really the term for it. But I don't know, we'll get you out of that funk.
I know. I just need to I just need to like start working out again, but I just don't like working out at home. I really miss the gym a lot.
Yeah, it's a little tougher. I think it's just because everybody else is getting pumped and jacked around you, and it's kind of just that
Yeah,
reverberating energy.
yeah, it motivates me. It's like the energy of the room, exactly. And then also I'm just kind of vain in a sense, you know what I mean? I like going there and looking good, you know what I mean? And, checking out the ladies, you know what I mean? Like
In the mirror and shit.
Yeah, dude. Exactly. I'm like working my traps. I'm like, dude, those are getting swole, man. Now I'm all skinny again. I'm like, man, all that progress. I'm fucking lost.
Yeah, it's an interesting thought. People have a hard time doing anything by themselves, really.
Yeah, I'm having a huge problem with that. I'm having a huge problem with school. I'm probably going to have to drop one of my classes just because it's too much. I'm just like failing it, so I'll probably just drop it. I'm passing my other 2 classes, I think, so.
You probably do better with in a class setting.
Yeah, I don't. See, humans are motivated by being recognized by other humans. And when I'm sitting here having to do online classes, I'm not motivated because the only person that's like keeping myself in check is me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which isn't enough for me to be motivated, which sucks, but that's just the reality of the situation.
Yeah, it's a mindset, dude. Like, I mean, I've done things so long by myself now that I've had to like train my mind to just focus on myself. Like, I don't really give a shit about, but I'm still the same. I do get more motivated around crowd setting and you know, a band or that camaraderie.
Yeah,
it feels like camaraderie, even if you're not even working with somebody. Just being around somebody who's doing the same thing as you, it just has that camaraderie feeling.
Yeah, exactly. And you also get like the energy of the place. It's weird that you kind of pick that up. Humans are interesting in that sense, but yeah.
It's an interesting concept, yeah. I was thinking about that a while ago, actually. It's like, that's so weird how people just do better when they're around people.
It's also not even motivation, but it's the setting as well. So like going to school, it's easier for me to learn at school than it is at home. I get distracted. I'm on the computer. I use my computer to play video games. I got notifications on Facebook popping up. It's really easy to be like, oh man, this video is fucking boring. I'm just gonna play like a game of League, and I'll get back to that, and then space out on that, and like, oh, I'll get back. I'll do it in a few hours. I'm like, I'll do it at 8. It's like 7:30. I'm like, I'll do it at 9. You know what I mean? I just keep pushing it back because I have this distractions all around me. Whereas like I go to school, I sit down at a desk, I can't sit there and play fucking video games at school, you know? It's like,
you can't check your notifications as much.
Yeah, it's like I have a date later that night. I'm like, I wasn't even playing video games before the pandemic because I was like, I don't got time for that shit.
Yeah. Well, when you're busy, you don't.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't. I would love to sit down and check out. Well, not really, because I know that it's wasting time. But it's different. When I want to waste time, then I'll do it.
Yeah.
But I have a hard time wasting time to begin with. But yeah, I have to commit to wasting time if I'm going to. Like, okay, I understand this next hour of whatever I do is going to be a complete fucking waste of time. But I've accepted that, so I'll waste that time.
Yeah.
But distractions is something a lot of people can relate to, especially with social media and screens everywhere, notifications and ding 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 noises coming up. Like, it's a distraction, man. I can totally relate, especially when I gotta answer 15 emails at once, and I have to literally sit at a computer for a couple hours without a distraction.
Yeah.
Full-time parenting, oh man. And I feel bad because Malia wants so much attention, and she deserves it. She's, a 7-year-old girl that wants that attention from me, but I just can't get distracted a lot of times unless I commit to that distraction. But it gets harder and harder, especially when I put things off, or not put things off, but I really just don't get to everything. I'll put a dent in it, and then I gotta do something else. Even eating lunch is a distraction for me. That's how busy I am.
Yeah, it's a necessity though.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But I get irritated with having to eat.
It's funny because you probably work better though when you have gotten the correct nutrients in your body.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Also, it negatively affects your mood when you're hungry.
Yeah.
There's been so many times I've had arguments in relationships. Then I just ate something. I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was just fucking hungry. That's why I'm
like,
so
I'm
fucking
hungry. Mood. Pouting.
I get fucking feisty, man, when I'm hungry.
Nice. So yeah, distractions, they're a bitch. But there was a guy I was listening to a while ago where he was like kind of giving tips on how to not be distracted. Put yourself in a room, close the door, tell everybody that you cannot be distracted for the next X amount of time.
Yeah.
Turn all your notifications off and focus on. There's things like that, tricks.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying. Is kind of the setting though, because my place where I would do that is at my computer desk in there, where my brain is like wired to like that's where I fuck off. You know what I mean? So it's like when I go to school, I know I'm going to school. I'm going to learn. It's like I do multiple things in the same location, so my brain's like, well, that's more fun. Let's do the thing that's more fun instead. You do that here as well. You know what I mean? So like they're saying, like it's hard to fall asleep in bed if you're like on your phone all the time, which I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because then your brain associates the bed with not sleeping, so it can become hard to sleep there.
That's an interesting thought. I think a lot of us probably do phone time right before bed.
Mm-hmm.
I know I do.
That's a huge problem.
Yeah. I usually check like Instagram and stuff like that, or not check, but also post Instagram stuff.
I literally fall asleep watching YouTube videos. Sometimes when I'm laying in a stupid position, I'll drop the phone on my face. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's interesting, man. Wait, I forgot what we were gonna say. What I was gonna say. There was something we kind of got on the topic there that I was gonna talk about actually.
Really?
Yeah, don't remember. There's definitely something related to what we were just talking about, though. It'll come back to me towards the end.
Also, learning online sucks for me too. I realized last quarter I had a hybrid class. It was basically like, in class a couple days, but then also had a bunch of online homework, and that was the class that I did the worst in. Even though that's when I was going to college and working out.
Oh, really?
I got like a 75% in that class, and I got 90% in my other two classes.
Nice.
So it's just not for me, unless it's something that's like on the computer. Like if I'm learning computer programming, obviously I'm doing it on the computer. But other subjects, I'm not really interested in learning them on the computer. It's annoying. I mean, like
it's easy to check out of that and get distracted, or when your distractions come up, then it's easy to be like, oh yeah, I want to take a break from that.
I just don't retain it as well either. Like right now, I'm using an online math book to learn stuff, and I'm not retaining the information as well as I did when I had my physical math book. And I was going to school and I was taking notes in a notebook with pencil and paper. Just something about it solidifies it in my brain a lot better. So
nice. Yeah, everybody works differently too in their own productive way.
Yes, I said it just doesn't work for me, really. I mean, it does, but it's just not the most efficient method for me.
Yeah. Well, we're kind of ranting a little bit, which is good because we have some. I mean, there's some substance to those rants and kind of topics, which I like. That I like when we wing on stuff that we didn't intend on talking about.
Yeah.
Is there something you want to talk about first or anything?
Not first. There was only one topic I want to talk about. I wanted to talk about dreams a little bit, but
nice.
Just kind of in general. I didn't really have anything super specific. I'm really interested in dreams. So
yeah, what's going on? You getting some weird dreams or what?
Yeah, I guess I can't remember them though. But I get those really vivid dreams that kind of feel like you're in alternate reality.
Oh yeah, we've talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
That's are we talking about like kind of how we were talking about like it's a revisiting dream that you kind of pick up the same scenario or people in it? Yeah, dude, that is so weird.
No, yeah, I've always kind of wondered if it's like a multiverse type of window. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like your soul could be living multiple lives out in different locations.
Yeah, it is. That's so trippy.
So,
what's your reoccurring dream? You got anything? What keeps reoccurring in it?
Not really anything specific, but I don't really have this one anymore, but I can't think of one right now. But I did have one where my great grandma, who's dead now, but she used to. It was like this duplex in California that she lived in, but only in my dream, because in real life she lived in a trailer. It's like I know the layout of this house in my dream so well, and then I also was staying there and going to a school in California, which was like, you know what? It kind of looks like that school in Nat Cheese, how it has like the big tower kind of thing. It kind of looks like that.
Interesting.
And I went there. Those places don't actually exist, but I know them so well because I've seen them so many times in my dream.
You've constructed this architecture in your brain.
It's so fucking weird. It's like I have like a emotional connection to those locations that probably don't even exist, or if they do exist, it's weird that I know that they exist because I've never fucking been there. So
that's so wild. That's crazy how vivid that is. Like, you know, every crevice of the building. That's so funny.
It makes me annoyed too, because I kind of like miss those places that don't exist. You know what I mean? Like I want to go into those places.
Yeah, I wonder what's behind that. That's a fascinating concept, man.
Yeah, it's weird.
I have I think I told you a little bit about my similar one. It was also, it feels like, I don't know where it's at. It feels like it's California area. It's always, hey, someone's honking. Yeah, we get that a lot. I think they see my truck sitting there. Everybody.
Oh, okay. All right.
Either someone knows me or they want a patio cover or something. But yeah, my recurring dream is we should probably shut that actually. I forgot. That's been open since yesterday.
The window?
Yeah.
I thought you just opened because it's hot up here.
No.
You did bring that fan up here too.
Snakes opened that one up. Yeah, my recurring dream, it feels like it's in California also, just because it's always sunny and nice, and I feel like I see palm trees in the dream as well.
Yeah.
But what's interesting about this recurring dream is the individuals in it. There's 2 dudes and a girl, and I feel like I've hung out with them. It's so weird. It's so weird. It seems like.
But you don't actually know them in real life?
I don't think so. If I have met them, I don't remember, and this was years ago. But yes, I'm pretty certain I have not met these people. But it's so real that, like, when I have this recurring dream, it's probably only happened 4 times. But when I have that dream, it's like, it's just familiarity.
Yeah.
That feeling of familiarity, that's a hard word. Familiarity. When I see them, it's just like that feeling. It's like, oh, it's my friends.
My long lost friends.
Yeah, my long lost friends. Yeah, it's so weird, man. And this is and just like you said, there's an emotional attachment.
Yeah.
That's totally there with these friends, and I don't know if it's like a made up, you know, a bunch of imaginary friends, I guess.
Yeah.
or if it's an alternate universe, like you explained.
Yeah, there's really no way for us to know.
It seems so real, though.
That's what I'm saying. So I kind of differentiate that between like those weird creative dreams that you have.
Yeah.
Different from those like vivid dreams. Those are like 2 different things going on in your brain. So
I do too. It's completely different because you're not so. I mean, you could have an emotional feeling in those type of dreams too, but it's just much different. It's the familiar part of it.
Yeah, and also those dreams are usually more of like a surface level emotion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like you wake up, you're like, "Well, that was kind of weird," and then you're like, "All right, whatever." And you forget about it in like 10 seconds. Those ones, like
there's no substance to it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. They probably mind fuck you when you wake up from the vivid ones, though, right?
Yes.
You wake up and you're like discombobulated for a while.
Exactly. Like, what was that about? How do I know those people or that place?
Mm-hmm.
And why do I keep thinking about it? It's so fascinating.
Yeah, and there's also been like some girl that I'm in love with in my dreams that I'll see every once in a while, and I'll wake up and I'll be like, that girl doesn't fucking exist, dude.
She's out there.
Maybe, but I'll wake up and I'll be like, son of a bitch, I was in love, I was having a good time, and now I woke up and I'm fucking single, man.
Oh man.
Not that being single is the worst thing ever, but like, you know, just having that like super strong emotional connection, waking up and be like, well shit.
I mean, a lot of people don't get that in their life, you know what I mean? They don't get that person that they feel that strong about, so I mean, it's probably pretty devastating.
You wake up just sad as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, oh man, where's she at? Nah, it's fascinating, man. I wonder about that too. I wonder if there's more to it. There was that one, there's this one girl I was watching when I was watching this show about memory. It was like a memory type thing, which is how I learned the method of loci on there. But she would draw her dreams on almost like a comic layout.
So she would have like a dream journal, but with drawings?
Yeah, so she would immediately when she woke up, she would start drawing it.
Wow.
And she's got all this logged with pictures of
that
like
must be so cool.
famous people. She's got a whole pamphlet of it, dude.
I'm gonna have to check that out. That
And
sounds awesome.
it's fascinating, and she's a pretty good
I
artist.
was gonna say, is she good at
she's like, yeah, this is when I was with Dwayne The Rock Johnson and we went, for ice cream or something. Like, just random dreams, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I see that, I was like, that's kind of a good idea. And I forgot
my art skills and started doing that. Everyone I tell about my crazy dreams usually tells me I should get a dream journal. So
I'm gonna have to revisit that documentary because, or it's more of a show really, but there's a lot of different terms in there within dreaming that I can't remember right now. In memory, yeah, an alternate reality. But yeah, there's a term where you people I wouldn't even begin to talk about it now. I have to revisit that documentary, but it's so fascinating that we should talk about it.
Yeah, we should watch that.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'll make notes. Remember, just so I can remember.
Because that's one of my favorite topics. So.
Yeah, I love that. Train. Oh yeah. Well, so what are we gonna? We didn't really. Let's see. Let's pick up that conversation we were talking about with. We were talking about death,
right,
and children.
Mm-hmm.
We there's half of that I wanted to still talk about.
Yeah.
And that was, just to recap with you guys, if you missed that part, I think it was in episode 1, we were talking about it. We were talking about how, I brought it up because I think, because I was talking about how I think children, it's probably a good thing for children to be exposed to death early, which is kind of a slippery slope of a conversation. A lot of people would disagree with that. But that's kind of what we were talking about. And without revisiting the same conversation we did, the other side of that I wanted to talk about was similar but a little bit different. And what I'm talking about is having the conversation with your children about Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny, and all these imaginary people, and some would argue God and Jesus. Yes, I said it. Me personally, I'm not religious. I don't. I'm agnostic. Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
I don't know for sure if he does not exist. I don't know for sure if he does exist. I'm open-minded to both scenarios. But if I had to lean to one side, I'm leaning more towards the side that I don't think he exists. But I put him in the category. So that being said, I would put him in the category of imaginary people. A little bit different. Some people might find that offensive, but it's just my thoughts, and I respect people's opinion, and you should as well. But what I think it's also important to explain to kids at a certain age. For me, I explained it to Malia when she was 5. I had the conversation with her about Santa Claus, and she flat out asked me, is Santa Claus real?
Mm-hmm.
And I did not want to lie to her. That was the reason why I told her the truth. It's a trust thing for me. I don't want to lie to her for years and then her find out that I was lying to her about this imaginary guy, when it's childish, really, in my opinion. It's such a small thing to lie about. And I understand that some people think, you might even think this, it's better to preserve the innocence. I think you said that about death too.
Yeah.
I understand that. I really do. But when I think about it, it's like, should I preserve the innocence or should I establish trust? And that's kind of what I'm putting on a pendulum in my mind. And for me, establishing trust with my daughter is extremely important. I value my relationship with my daughter more than I do anybody in my life. And so that's why it's important for me, and that's why I think it's important to have those conversations with children. Now, that being said, this has no negative spin on it. A lot of people might think that I'm a monster because I'm saying, tell your children there's no Santa Claus and Easter Bunny and Tooth Fairy. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you can totally still have fun with this. Kids have an imagination, so do adults. And I established that early when I had that conversation with her as well. I said, Santa Claus is not real. And she the reason she was having a hard time with it was because everybody else, including grown adults, were telling her that he was.
Yeah.
And so she didn't believe me for a second there. And so...
That's funny.
Yeah, she didn't believe me. She's like, yeah, whatever, Dad. So I had to explain it to her. I was like, sweetheart, he's not real. And, they were lying because they just, that's what they were taught to do.
Yeah, it's a cultural norm.
I explained, I leveled with my daughter. I have, adult conversations with my daughter that also some people might not agree with, but I do this for a reason, because even though she may not understand what I'm saying now, kids remember very well, and whatever conversations we have had, she'll remember when the time comes. She'll think to herself, oh, this is exactly what my dad was talking about. And so I think that was important to do that, because it just established the trust. And not only that, it's a reality thing. We can totally have fun with it. We still do the Santa Claus thing. We still do the normal Christmas stuff. I get a treat. We still participate in the Tooth Fairy stuff. We still do Easter Bunny. All these, what I consider silly things and social expectations and social holidays, we still have fun with it. And you still can have fun with it. But I think the more important thing to establish is trust between your children. Because I remember when I found out Santa Claus wasn't real, and I was devastated. And so I think a lot of people, matter of fact, if you've had this experience, if you can remember when you found out Santa Claus was not real, please let us know your experience. And if you were devastated, what age maybe, give us some details of this. I'm very fascinated to know about how many people actually vividly remember that, because I didn't appreciate it, to be honest. What's your experience with this?
Okay,
and your opinion with it?
I have a few thoughts. One of my thoughts was, you're saying it's like kind of a childish thing to lie about.
Yes.
I don't really think it's that big of a deal to lie about that to children. You know what I mean, about like Santa.
Yeah.
I can understand the death thing.
Okay.
Because personally, I'm not like an adult now. I'm like, fuck my parents for fucking telling me the Santa Claus is real. I'm not like resentful about it. Like, it doesn't bother me, so I don't know if it really matters that much. It's like I don't distrust anyone that told me that Santa was real.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
And also, I think it's kind of cool because like kids kind of believe like in magic and stuff. You know what I mean? It's kind of cool to like just let them have that crazy wild imagination, like to think that things can, whatever they want to exist can exist, even if that's not true. Just because they're children, and just like let them be children.
Preserving innocence.
Yeah, exactly. I can understand both sides of the argument, and I know that I can still have fun with imaginary things that aren't real, knowing that they aren't real nowadays. Like I can still read Harry Potter and still get really into it, go into the little fantasy world. So.
Yeah. Well, what I think though is I understand what you're saying is like it's a white lie, but it's a white lie that is so heavily constructed. This is a lie you continue to carry on year in, year out. And so when I think, and for you it's a different experience, you might not have thought about it this way, or it just didn't affect you this way. But I think of it in the terms of like, wow, they put so much energy into lying for so long and doing all these different things, like Santa's coming through the chimney, those are all his presents, the cookies, and there's a backstory to this, the North Pole, the elves. This is not to me, it's not a small lie. This is a very well thought out fucking lie, dude.
It's a pretty great story, okay?
It's a fabulous story. It's a great imaginative story, which we can use our imagination. But when I think of it that way, maybe I'm concerned that children are thinking, because I think I thought about it this way. I'm like, wow, if they put that much effort into lying, like they're very capable of lying. Like, I don't know, I just think like, what else could they be lying about, because they put so much effort into this.
Yeah,
it didn't seem like a white lie.
I mean, I don't know, I think it's just, I don't think that one in particular, Santa, is a big deal. I think you should tell kids the truth about religion. I think more people should be like even if you are like religious, I'm not. I'm kind of on the opposite end of the agnostic that you are, where you're kind of leaning more towards disbelief. I would lean more towards belief, not Christian belief, but just kind of spirituality.
Yeah.
Fuck, I lost my train of thought.
That's all right. You're talking about leaning. You're the opposite end of me.
Oh, I was saying we should tell kids that, you know, even if you are like, I believe in Jesus, like that's my belief. I don't know, you know, if that story is 100% true.
Yeah. Just being realistic with them instead of kind of enforcing a religion. Like, you should believe. I believe in them. You should too.
Yeah. It's like, this is what I believe to be true. You can believe it or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
You know, I agree with that. At least, you know, even if, you know, the fact that we're on opposite lanes,
Yeah.
I do appreciate the fact that you are not on board with pushing a religion.
Yeah.
I agree with that. You should give the liberty. You can give them all the information you want to encourage them, but as far as trying to heavily enforce that upon a child, I don't agree with that either.
Yeah.
It's there's something wrong about it.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right.
It doesn't feel right. Yeah, exactly. It's funny because we talked about we kind of made an agreement we weren't going to talk about religion, but
well, I'm not.
It's okay because we kind of.
I'm not shitting on religion. It's fine if you believe something. I'm kind of shitting on brainwashing people.
Yeah.
Especially children, because children are very impressionable, and I don't think you should do that.
Yeah, you can get them to believe in Santa Claus if you wanted to.
Yeah. That you could.
That's a well thought out story. They're damn right. They're impressionable. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, religion is a slippery slope of a conversation, man. Some people, I mean, there's probably a ton of people that believe in God and Jesus that are like really getting pissed off at me or something, maybe. I don't know. Hopefully not, because...
I don't know, man. I mean, Christianity could be true. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So...
I'm not ruling it out. I need some... It's hard for me to... First of all, I don't believe in faith much. What do I want to say? I don't rely on faith so much. Faith is... Jim Carrey said this best. Hope is a beggar. Faith leaps over hope. And I agree with that, but I'm going to take it a step further. Faith means shit unless you take action. Because faith is still along the lines of hope, in my opinion. You're kind of, oh, I have faith something's going to work out. Well, you feel more confident in that if you actually made some choices and took action to make that faith a little more realistic. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it's more of a motivational tool.
Yeah, but
in that sense.
And imagine how much more motivation there'd be if you actually took some steps behind whatever it is you're being faithful about.
Yeah.
Because there's some people that are just like, oh, I have faith, and they just kick back.
Yeah.
I have faith things will work out.
Yeah.
I have faith in you.
Those people scare me, just because I'm like.
It's really along the lines of hope.
Yeah, but I just feel like it is what kind of what you're saying is. Are they really taking control of their life? They're just like letting whatever happen to them happen to them.
Faith is good. I think faith is good only when it's conjoined with action taking.
Yeah.
I really believe in that. I've thought about that quite a bit, actually. It's been a while since I've had that conversation with myself, but because I have a lot of conversations with myself.
Same.
But yeah, no, I'm really passionate about if you're gonna be faithful, you better take some action. Otherwise, faith is worthless, in my opinion. It really is. You might as well start wishing for a bunch of other stuff that you can't have to, or that you don't know if you're gonna have, because that's what faith is. It's just like, I have faith something's gonna happen. I mean, it's great, but you should start putting some momentum behind that faith. And
yeah, man. So if you have faith that you're gonna live on forever, you just start building robots. You make yourself into an android, okay?
Reach out to Elon Musk. Reach out to the makers of Robo Sapien. You can make this happen.
Can you upload my brain into that computer, please?
Did I show you that one video of Tony Robbins speaking to that robot? I feel like I did.
Yeah, I've seen a few videos
That's crazy,
of people talking to robots. Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
I don't think they're as cool as people think they are. I think in a few years they're gonna be pretty.
I was
scary.
pretty impressed with it because it was the reactions were. I mean, there were some tweaks that needed to
No,
be
so
done.
there's a little, it's a little buggy.
It was a little buggy, but man, 80% of that was pretty good and impressive for robot reaction. You know.
Yeah, I guess maybe I'm personally not super impressive just because I'm a programmer. So
You're hard to impress.
yeah, I'm hard to impress with technology like that.
You're so above everybody. Your artificial intelligence game is.
No, don't do that.
You stole more. You like stole more of the alien technology than was offered. What are you holding out on, man? You got like a transistor in there or what?
Yeah, I have a bunch of transistors in there. They're in,
Oh yeah,
they're in my
yes, you do.
laptop. Yeah,
That's
And
right.
I have millions and millions of transistors.
Oh man, transistors. Yeah, speaking of
I was gonna
transistors,
say,
this is a
fucking-
great segue now to get into like Hangar One.
The Hangar One episode, yeah.
Hangar One. If you haven't heard us talk about this, we probably touched base on one episode, I think, already.
Yeah,
A
I think
little
we were
bit.
talking about presidents last time.
Yeah, okay. If you haven't seen it, Hangar One. If you like conspiracies with extraterrestrial life and UFOs and government conspiracies behind that, Hangar One is very well one of my favorite documentaries regarding that stuff because, like I said just before, it kind of breaks down each topic within that, from sightings to the artificial intelligence to the space weapons and space fleets and then testimonies from people. It's just so fascinating. But the episode we watched last night was it Space Weapons?
Yeah.
I think so. Yes. Very interesting, man. I was like blown away. Also, what really gets me is footage.
Yeah.
Footage gets me, man. When I see some footage, it's like, wow, that just happened.
Yeah. So it's the one thing I really thought was interesting was that guy that broke into the NASA database
Yeah.
and found all the folders with the scrubbed images and the original images.
Gary McKenna or Kennett.
Is that,
Gary
that was-
McKenna. Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah. That was really cool, dude.
what do you think about
Very cool, like interesting. Like he exposed a lot.
that? Mhm.
It's funny because when they said they dropped the charges, I was like,
That kind of blew my mind.
that's
honestly.
weird.
The fact that they dropped the charges.
There's something behind that.
Yeah.
There's more to that.
I didn't realize that he was like in court with them for like 10 years or whatever. Though. So
Holy shit. I didn't hear that
I
part.
think I might be not remembering that correctly, but I think they were saying it was like going on for like 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that, it's really impressive that, first of all, he hacked into one of the most, high-tech and prestigious agencies like that,
Mm-hmm.
NASA. And, but yeah, on top of that, they said they dropped the charges. I feel like those are some pretty high charges.
Yeah, I'm surprised the dude's not in prison or worse, you know?
Yeah. But as far as what he uncovered, that was super fascinating. I mean, he was talking about he's seen evidence of transfers and fleets and spaceships that were able to carry 100 people at a time. And this is back in, was this
Early
60s
2000s?
or 70s, right?
Oh, when they were making them?
Yes.
I think they were
The
saying,
information went, yeah.
I think 80s is what I remember hearing on there.
Oh, okay. Very fascinating for that time even, because it's unheard of to have that many people in a spacecraft of any sort.
Yeah, it kind of blows my mind that if we do have that technology, then like why did the Challenger space shuttle blow up, as it was going up? It's like if we have this technology to do this other stuff, why are we jeopardizing people's lives? All those astronauts died on that.
Yeah,
Fucking
there's
rockets.
been a few. There's
Yeah.
been a few that happened like
That's
that.
the most famous one. Then there was I think it's Columbus, the one that broke up in the atmosphere when it was coming back through in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
I remember hearing about that at school.
There was one where there was like 5. Yeah, I remember which one you're talking about. There was one that I don't know if you remember this. There was I think 5 individuals that as they launched up, they had a malfunction and then they all died.
Yeah, that was the first one I was talking about, the Challenger.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was like in 86 or something.
Was that?
Don't,
you know what's
don't
funny?
quote me. I think it was like 86.
Okay, you know what's funny? I actually did a job here locally, and the guy I did a job for was like the brother-in-law of one of those dudes that died in that crash.
Really?
Yeah, and he was telling me about how they were gonna go open up a time capsule with all his stuff in it.
Really?
And so he was like pretty excited about that. It was
Wow.
like it'd been 25 years since the time capsule was closed.
Mm-hmm.
That was a pretty cool story though, him telling us that.
Yeah, dude, the way those guys died sucked.
That's sad.
Because like they didn't actually die when it blew up. You know what I mean?
I know.
But they were going so fast that just from the impact of hitting the ocean.
Yeah, I always fear. You know, we're kind of getting into a different topic, but
It was morbid.
yeah, I always fear or put myself in that thought process. Like, man, what would it be like to be in a plane that's going down? And I mean, there's a lot of thinking time. There's a lot of like, oh God, preparing, and like just so many thoughts going on at once.
I've done the stupid thing of listening to the black boxes of plane crashes.
Oh no, I have never.
Don't.
You can just hear people screaming and stuff. Oh,
Yeah.
that's sad.
You can hear them be like, "Holy shit, we're gonna die." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can like hear the terror in their voices and shit.
That's
You hear
sad.
people screaming. It's fucking scary, dude.
That is sad. That is scary.
It's scary as fuck.
I mean, when I heard, you know, the Boeing 747 went down and like 300 plus people died, I was like, that is fucking devastating.
Yeah,
That is sad.
it's fucking insane. It's-
But you're right. That is morbid.
Don't get me on this topic, man, because I'll start dwelling on it.
Yeah,
have
no.
an existential crisis over here.
But yeah, no, I know it's a real thing and it exists, and that's what half the reason why I'm scared of flights. Obviously, we're a lot more safer, but you know, I treat it like construction. When I'm working construction, I'm very strict with being safe and doing things very safe because I'm very aware that it just takes one time for you to get fucked up, fall off a ladder, you know, shoot yourself with a nail gun, cut your finger off.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. Like, if you're just not careful, it just takes one time for something to impact you so devastatingly.
So what I think is interesting to tie into this is the fact that they're saying that there's alien technology that is secretly hidden away, right? And it, you know, it uses a different propulsion system, right? So it doesn't use fuel.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these planes, when they crash, like they go off the runway, crash and burn up in a ball of fire because of all the fuel they have in them.
Yeah.
It's like, you could save so many lives if you would just give us that technology.
I know.
For these planes. Because, like, yeah, people will still die from it falling, but also at the same time, if there's not fuel, less people will die still.
Yeah. I
That's
agree.
my biggest fear is like when you're taking off, I'm like, please don't crash, please don't crash, please don't crash.
Yeah, and it's funny because you're right. I have a suspicion that we have the technology to make aircraft safer. I mean, they were talking about the what was that? The Belgian.
Right, Belgian Lance or what?
Yeah, which ended up being the TR-3B
Oh, right.
sighting,
Yeah.
which they labeled as the TR-3B. So there was this aircraft that had about 1,000 different sightings. Everybody had very consistent recollections of this sighting. It was like a triangular shape UFO that had these 3 lights on the outside and then one big red light in the middle. But yeah, it was the suspicion was that the government built it and they were test flying this thing, or you know, just flying it, whatever. If that's true, we have the technology.
Yeah.
We have, and my suspicion is that they're holding out because they think maybe that the enemy, you know, I guess in this case the enemy of war, the war enemy will get the technology and be used against us. But you know, I don't know how I feel. Like, if we have it, someone else has it. You know, I mean, Russia and all them.
Yeah, I just think it's a crime against humanity, honestly.
And then yes, there's that. So it's more important to make us safer and, you know, project our technology and basically amplify that.
Yeah, because if that's true, they're literally just holding us back as a species from like progressing. So
Exactly.
and this, yeah.
I mean, in one regard, like the artificial intelligence episode that they were talking about, how we have advanced so much. We have been using their technology, but yeah, we could. There's more, and it could make us safer. You're right.
Yeah.
Especially with the what is it, element 19 or
115.
element 115? There you go. The unobtainium, or
Yeah, I forget what it's called.
yeah. I mean, that technology specifically would
Yeah,
change spacecraft or airplanes and any kind of craft.
Yeah, I mean it definitely exists. There's 118 elements on the periodic table now, so.
Nice.
So, you know, there's also this funny about that episode was the fact that they were talking about us having a secret space force, and now we actually have a space force.
Yeah.
Because that show is from like 2014, I think. So
Oh, really?
yeah, and then Donald Trump, I think it was in 2018. He's like, yeah, we're gonna have a space force. You know, everyone's like, you're fucking stupid. It's like he's not, because we've already had it this entire time. You know.
Yeah. And they were, I mean, speaking of presidents on the episode last night, the space weapons, they were talking about how Reagan had his experiences with sightings, two in particular.
Yeah.
The one where he's seen an aircraft land on the ground, him and his wife,
Mhm.
and then they observed it. There was actually a speculation or suspicion that he was abducted
Yeah.
because he disappeared. There was unaccounted time.
Mhm.
There was some unaccounted time, and then he showed up to a party late, and they were really upset
Yeah.
and distraught. That's pretty, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, what happened to make him so upset? Like, cause just seeing a UFO isn't gonna make me upset. I'm gonna be like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Or I'm gonna be like really excited. You know what I mean? I might be a little bit scared, but I'm not gonna be like super distressed if like it flies away and nothing happens. And I'm like, that was fucking crazy, dude. That's all I'm gonna do. You won't fucking believe the story, guys.
I'm different. I'm like that, yeah. I'm like, you guys will never believe this. I can't get it. Kind of like that meteorite that hit that they also talked about. That was insane.
Yeah.
Because I was just talking about this a few weeks ago, and I showed Malia about it. I showed their videos, and I had no idea that they were going to talk about this. But what's interesting about that is what I'm referring to is the Russian meteorite that came into our atmosphere and was it was basically predicted to devastate us with the huge impact, but it was intercepted and countered with a missile of some sort. Prior to that. Maybe. Oh yeah. Didn't they show a footage?
They showed footage of like something going through, but it could have been another piece of the meteorite, as they're saying, because if a piece broke off, it would have less friction, so it might be able to just move faster.
Huh. Okay.
So
because I thought it looked like it was moving in a different direction, like the meteorite was coming this way and this went that way.
no, it was like
Okay, maybe I'm getting it mixed up with that other video that was happening.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's just crazy that thing blew up over.
Yeah, because it still had devastate. I mean, it like rattled some buildings and did injure some
I
people.
thought it injured like 1,000 people or something.
Yeah, so it did, but yeah, apparently it was predicted to really cause some.
If it hit the ground, that would have fucked shit up for sure.
So it's interesting because what they're talking about is, you know, without skipping some things that you guys should probably know about with that episode. So Reagan had all these two encounters. He had that one encounter where maybe he was abducted. Regardless, he's seen a landed UFO. And then he had another UFO sighting when he was in an airplane with two other individuals. That's crazy. So he's had two sightings now.
Yeah.
And then when he was having that speech that they kind of clipped, he basically, you know, it's funny because presidents speak in riddles. They kind of are scared to just flat out say something.
Yeah.
So his way of doing that was
Oh yeah. Well, but he had that speech at the UN. Is that the one you're talking about?
I think so.
He like straight up said that pretty much outright though.
Well, if I remember right, his wording was, we wonder if aliens are going to invade us or something of that nature. And he said, you have to ask yourself, maybe the aliens are already among us.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he said.
I know, and that was, dude, like.
Why would he say that?
We were watching that, we were both like, holy shit, when he said that.
Why would he's the only president that's ever said something that damning or that indicative, to insinuate that exists.
Yeah.
I mean, some presidents kind of dabble and dance in and out of that topic, but I think he was more upfront than any of the presidents because he's had those experiences.
Yeah.
That was fascinating, man. But yeah, to dovetail into what we were talking about with the intercepting objects hitting meteorites, there's two incidents on the documentary, but to back up, they were talking about the STS program, which was, let me get this right. What was that called again? The Strategic Defense Initiative.
Oh, right.
Basically a missile designed to intercept and blow up, rather, any incoming object, whether it's, I mean, what people thought and what he was indicating, or what he kind of meant, what told people it was meant for, was to intercept enemy missiles, really.
Mm-hmm.
But
they can do that too.
Which, yeah, absolutely. It's capable of doing that. But people were thinking that maybe he designed it and was more cautious of UFOs invading us or have malicious intent. So the Strategic Defense Initiative was built by him and designed to defend us from incoming invaders, basically, which is a very interesting topic. And then, furthermore, they showed that video.
Yeah, dude.
That was crazy. They show this video of this slow-moving object. This is a space video on a space shuttle, basically showing a down shot of Earth, right? And it shows this slow-moving craft going really slow, and then all of a sudden it changes direction, about 45-degree angle. And as it does that, this missile just misses it. Like, obviously it was going to make impact with it right before it did that 45-degree turn, which is, first of all, that's crazy in itself. No aircraft does that. No asteroid does this.
Move
in a hard 45-degree angle like that.
Yeah, it's like move like a boomerang.
But on top of that, like you said, what was even more fascinating was the fact that it sensed that coming, the incoming missile coming at it, well before it even.
Because the missile was going fast as fuck.
The missile went 3 times faster than the actual UFO, but the fact that the UFO, seen it coming, or had some kind of sensor in the space shuttle that indicated they were going to get hit. It just did a 45, and all of a sudden you see this missile just shoot right past it.
Yeah, the way I described it last night was like it was like proactive. You know what I mean? It was. I mean, it was reactive, but it was like reacting before you could even really see it coming out of the.
Yeah, no, it's seen it coming. Yeah, so that was so crazy, and like I said before, footage gets me. I mean, you can have a bunch of statements get me too, especially by credible people. But
yeah, you have enough testimonies, but after a certain point, you're gonna want to see something.
And that's just like religion I was talking about. Like I'm more convinced with facts and science and imagery.
Exactly. If you had like a religious experience one day, you'd probably be like, okay,
absolutely.
Now I believe.
Absolutely.
So
it wouldn't have to be any faith. I'd be like, I know.
I know.
I seen the light. But yeah, that video was really cool, man. But it's also scary, you know what I mean, to think that they're just floating out there, they're just observing us, we don't know their intention. The government might know their intention. It might be involved with them.
Yeah, I don't think they're here to destroy us because they could have just done it. So.
I don't think so either, yeah. I think they're really examining us. Or they, maybe they created us. So that's crazy.
Have you gone into that theory?
I've not enough,
yeah.
But I've had that conversation, I think, with you or somebody else too.
Yeah, look into that. Yeah, they call them like the Anunnaki.
Okay, I've heard of that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's a theory, yeah.
That is crazy, man.
We could research that in like the pyramids of Egypt because people were saying that aliens probably helped create the pyramids.
Yeah, how the fuck? It's funny. We were just talking about this on site today. The guy I'm working with.
You were just talking about pyramids?
Yeah, because we were talking about, we had a level. He was like, oh, the level's a great invention. I was like, isn't that crazy to think that people built the Colosseum, the pyramid, all these things without a level? Everything's perfectly straight. I mean,
I was just talking about pyramids with Roland because we were using that fucking crane to lift the engine up, and we're like, yeah, they totally fucking did this without a hydraulic lift with 5,000 pound or 5,000 ton blocks. Yeah, that totally happened. Yeah, they did that fucking 5,000 years ago. Yeah, it totally makes sense.
There's so many things out there like that that's just unanswered questions, man.
I was like, for me, it's like if the aliens didn't make the fucking pyramids, they at least facilitated the building of the pyramids.
Exactly.
There's no fucking way the humans that we made those, man.
I know. It's insane. Not by ourselves.
I don't even think we couldn't even make those now. I don't think. I don't think we could get.
Well, we can now. We have some freaking crazy buildings, dude. Some crazy architectural.
Yeah, but they don't use 5,000 ton blocks of just like stone.
I haven't done enough research to know like the individual weight of those pieces, but yeah,
they're fucking insane.
Really?
Dude, yeah. And they're like, yeah, they just dragged them across the ground for like 50 miles or whatever. You're like, are you sure? Doesn't seem plausible. And they're like, yeah. And then they used a pulley system with cranes to lift it. And they're like, They're like either that or they built a ramp. They're like a mile-long ramp and push these.
How did you exactly? How are you going to defy gravity with that much weight anyway?
Yeah, it's just like your guys' theories suck.
Yeah, it's really it's unfathomable to believe that we did that shit, man. It's insane. Okay, so you got big unanswered questions like that, right? And then like, have you ever heard of the Antikythera?
Mm-mm.
It's like this. It's this thing I wanted to look back into because I did watch a documentary on it years ago, and it's this small device that has all these tiny cogs, a bunch of cogs, much like a watch, but a bunch of them.
Mm-hmm.
And this thing was made way back around, those type of days, the pyramid days, and maybe even further. But we'll have to watch something on it.
What did it do?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
That's the thing.
Oh, okay.
I just remember what it looked like, and I was like, there's no fucking way we could have made this thing back in the, and I don't even know if it was this big, or what. I just know it was small in proportion.
Mm-hmm.
But it had so many working mechanisms within it.
That's cool.
Like a lot. And I was like, wow, man. And it had a purpose. I don't remember what it was, so we'll have to get back into that. The Antikythera. It was interesting, man.
Okay.
There's so many things like that. You got big unanswered questions and little unanswered
I feel like we're gonna be
questions.
talking about like aliens and unsolved mysteries like these for like a while. On this podcast. It's gonna be a recurring theme.
Well, humans crave answers. They crave predictability, and when they don't get that, they need an answer. And we're no different. I mean, it's why it's so fascinating. That's why it's just an ongoing conversation.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people enjoy that.
Mm-hmm. I find fascinating is like, why are all these different groups hiding information?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, for instance, with the pyramids, they have Egyptologists, which are basically people that study the pyramids. And then anytime anyone challenges the theories that they've given us, they're like, no.
Yeah.
They just shut it down. It's like they're like gatekeepers for the information. They know there's more to it. They probably know the information. They're not telling.
What do they have to gain from that? So they pay it off or something? It's so weird.
I don't know. It must.
That's the only thing I can think of. That usually what gets people to be quiet is money.
Well, I mean, maybe they are paying them off, but I'm saying, but maybe there's like some deeper meaning behind it. You know what I mean?
It's like some kind of, what do you call that? A secret society
Mm-hmm.
of some sort, where they just in an agreement with a ton of people that yes, this is going to be only ours.
Mm-hmm.
You got to swear an oath, raise your right hand, type stuff.
Yeah.
That's interesting, man. It's like The Skulls. You ever seen that movie?
I don't think I've seen the movie, but
Okay, it's a good one. It's a classic one. Secret society based.
yeah, secret societies are crazy.
Yeah, it
They
is crazy.
definitely exist.
And they exist. Yes, I agree. What's fascinating is it's another unanswered question, though, and that's what intrigues us.
I'm always like, why? What are you guys doing?
Exactly.
What is your agenda, really? Like, what's...
Who, what, why? So many questions.
I always tend to lean towards it must be something like religious or like conspiracy like aliens. There must be some really deep meaning that they know some information that they don't want us to know. So for some weird power struggle, I don't know.
The biggest question is why.
Exactly, yeah.
Is why. God, that's a huge question for everybody. But yeah, we'll get into that. Maybe we'll you know what?
Get into
Secret
that stuff.
secret
I'll have to
society.
do that next Saturday. Yeah. So we got Jake coming here on Wednesday.
Nice. Yes, Jake Lloyd's The Snakes will be here next Wednesday. Don't miss that. I think I already said that last episode, but
Yeah.
he's got a ton of stuff to talk about, mainly music related, but I have a feeling we'll derail him and we'll start asking him some hard-hitting questions. We'll get into different topics, but I'm super excited because he'll be the first in-house guest we've had. And we got a lot of people that we've been talking to about getting in here for an episode. And yeah, we're just going to line them up. It's just, I mean, they're good friends of ours and they got good conversations and some thought-provoking things to talk about. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, we can try to get someone in at least like once a week, you know what I mean?
Yeah, heck yeah. And if they, they can't make it or cancellation, I mean, that's no big deal. We got to have plenty to talk about.
Yeah, we'll still be here.
Yeah, back to the space weapons.
Alright.
I want to make sure I have all these notes we were talking about.
Surprised you wrote so many notes.
Yeah.
You write fast, I noticed when you were sitting there watching that.
Yeah, because I got it. I mean, you can see. You see I can write
Yeah,
nice.
These are all scribbles.
But this is fast writing. Yeah. when I'm just trying to get the notes down. It's just like, but yeah, we talked about Gary McKinnon. Apparently Ronald Reagan, he's known about the space fleet for 20 years prior to, us getting it established. In his diary, he also explained, he indicated the spaceships that could carry the 100 people I mentioned. That was actually where I got that information from. It was in his diary.
Dude, those are gotta be so big.
Right? And especially for that time, even more so. Because Reagan, I don't know when he was president, in the 80s or 70s, maybe?
80s, I think.
For that time,
Early
especially.
80s? Yeah.
That's like back when...
oh wait, maybe it was late 80s. Like mid-late 80s. I don't know. I can't remember. Like 85?
What's funny is, like, people question whether or not Neil Armstrong actually landed on the moon, too. Of course he fucking landed on the moon. We have that technology.
Yeah, maybe.
I think he did. We have the technology, you know what I mean? And since we have it, we're so anxious to do it. Like, why wouldn't a human want to do that?
I like there's two different conspiracies behind the... We'll get into that some other time, but I'd like to go on the moon landing conspiracy.
Neil Armstrong?
Yeah, there's a...
Alright, that's a good one.
There's a couple different takes on that.
Okay. So. Yeah, I've heard them too. Definitely alien, extraterrestrial life related too.
Yeah, I've heard
one of those. There was a game, I don't know if you remember it, called Area 51.
Dude, that game scared the fuck out of me, dude.
Badass.
Dude, I remember liking that game as a kid, and every time I'd start playing, I'd be like, no, I can't fucking play this. It's too fucking scary.
It was cool, man. It had some real life indicating things, you know what I mean? Like the Area 51. They had like a level there where it was props.
Really?
Neil Armstrong, yeah, and you're blasting aliens, and there's cardboard cutouts falling down and stuff.
Okay. Wow.
It was pretty cool. But yeah, that was a kick-ass game.
Yeah, the game was cool.
And for its time, the graphics were really good. Was it Xbox, regular Xbox? Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a really cool game.
I think it was on the PS2 as well. I feel like I played
Was
it.
it?
I feel like I played it on the PS2. I could be wrong.
Nice.
Because that was so long ago.
Oh yeah, that was a good game. But yeah, let's say there's talk of a 900-foot ship above the nuclear.
900 feet is so fucking huge.
Massive, above the nuclear base. Remember that? So for some reason, these ships have an attraction to our nuclear plants and bases. Well, that specific incident was when that 900-foot ship was floating around the base. Nuclear reaction or nuclear sensors started going off, basically indicating that they were about to do a nuclear launch. And apparently we got really close to having a nuclear war. Because if we would have, there would have been some answers back from other countries, like, oh shit, we're going to war. Yeah. This is a nuclear war we're having here. And that would have been World War III. But yes, apparently sensors started going off and things were triggering off launch. Alerts for a launch were happening in this nuclear base, and then it just stopped. This is all happening with a 900-foot spaceship right above it. Coincidence?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I just can't believe the thing's 900 feet, dude.
That's massive.
Dude, that's like, it's not a quarter of a mile, but it's like 20% of a mile. You know what I mean? It's fucking... Yeah. That's so far, dude. That's like going to the end of the block here, dude.
It was completely silent. A fucking 900-foot ship, completely silent. That's crazy.
I think that would make it even more terrifying to see that, because it's just this mass over you and just making no sense. You're like, what the fuck?
What is about to happen? Yeah, no, that's intimidating. Absolutely. I wish I had seen it. Extraterrestrial. Not extraterrestrial. I don't want to see that. I wish I'd seen a UFO though.
I was about to ask if you've ever seen a UFO.
No. Just shooting stars and a lot of floating stars or satellites.
Yeah, I've seen some things floating around, but that doesn't mean they were UFOs.
Nothing that stood out that was crazy to me.
Yeah, I've always wanted them to be UFOs, but never seen it.
Yeah, me too. Shooting stars are cool in itself, though, when you see those.
I mean, just looking up at the sky is amazing in general. You don't see a UFO, who cares? It's still awesome.
The last time I seen a shooting star was in the middle of the day.
Really?
Very cool. First time, only time I've ever seen it. I was driving, and the guy that was working with me also seen it. We were right over here up the road on College, and it was a sunny day. It was last summer.
Yeah. Hot
sunny day. It was probably 4 or 5 in the day. Super bright, and there was just a long streak right in front of us. We're like, holy shit!
Yeah.
There's a shooting star in the middle of the day.
Yeah, it was probably a meteor, right?
It could have been. Yeah. That was really
That's
cool.
probably why you
I'll
see it,
never
'cause it
forget
probably went
that.
through the atmosphere real quick, and it was probably small, so it just burnt up in the atmosphere.
And the tracer of it was really long.
Oh yeah.
That's what stood out, caught my eye. But yeah, I'll never forget that. That was just last summer.
That reminds me, I've seen one during the day too.
Oh yeah?
And I'm thinking about it right now because I seen it on December 21st, 2012,
Nice.
which was the day that the world was supposedly supposed to end.
Oh,
Remember that
yeah.
conspiracy theory? Yeah. And I remember I was sitting there eating some food, and I see this fucking comet falling from the sky, dude.
In
Or-
daytime?
Yeah, during the day, and I was like, oh no.
It's happening.
And I was with my ex, and she's like, fucking relax, dude. I'm like, I was like, holy shit.
It
It's like it's
sucks.
actually happening, and then nothing happened. But
It sucks that shooting stars are so fast because it'd be cool to get a picture of it. You know what I mean?
mhm.
That's what that would be. I mean, I guess people do time lapses of stuff, so that has been easy.
This one wasn't fast. This one was going slow.
Whoa.
Like it was like, burning through.
I
It
haven't.
must have been the angle that I was looking at it from, but
I have not seen one move slow ever. That's insane.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's scary.
shooting stars are cool, man.
And normally I probably wouldn't have gave a shit, but during that time of the day, on that day.
But yeah, that the nuclear reaction at the nuclear plant with that ship was fucking crazy to hear that story, man. But yeah, what other thing do we want to talk about with that? The other theory is that we already went into that with the SDI, the Strategic Defense Initiative. So that was in the 60s when he seen that UFO, apparently.
Okay.
When he seen that aircraft landed. That's back in the 60s, man.
That's insane.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
The fact that it was landed and
Yeah.
he got out of his vehicle and checked it out.
It,
What's funny is if they got that information, they probably got the rest of the information of what happened. Unless he legitimately doesn't remember. Like a blackout.
That or he didn't. He told the people not to tell him.
Something like
So
that.
like, hey, keep this hushed.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell him I seen a UFO, but don't tell him what happened after that.
So he seen that in the 60s. That was his first sighting. The other one we were talking about where he was on the plane
Mhm.
was back in 74.
Oh, really?
Yes. And that, I believe, that was the one where they were following that. There was a triangular one. It looked like the what was that called? The TR-3B.
Okay.
It looked like the TR-3B, right? Is sitting there. What they say? It dropped a mile in 1 second.
Oh, right, yeah.
1 mile, it dropped altitude in 1 second.
Imagine being on a plane.
In 1974. That's fucking crazy.
Dude.
Yeah, could you imagine being? Well, they have theories that in
Yeah.
those crafts, gravitational force is not like ours, so that you're not like bouncing
Yeah.
around inside.
Well, I was just thinking dropping. I was thinking if you're in a plane, dude,
In a
like,
plane,
you
yeah.
would lose your lunch.
You'd hit the ceiling first of all. But yeah, that fast is just like, you can't even move your hand that fast.
Mhm.
But yeah, just to think about a mile, 1 second, and we're all impressed with cars going, whatever, 120 miles in 6 seconds or whatever,
Yeah. We'll see.
120 miles per hour that is.
Yeah. Well, let's think about a mile in a second, which means in a minute you go 60 miles. So that'd be
Wow. Which would
60
explain,
times 60, which is that 3,600 miles an hour. That's how fast.
which would mean that they can easily travel light years.
Well, 3,600 isn't close to the speed of light, though.
Yeah.
3,600. I mean, 3,600 miles an hour is nothing to scoff at, but they must have some, if they're gonna do that, they have some other way of doing it,
Yeah.
or we just haven't even seen their full capabilities of how fast they can go.
Yeah, I know. It's just a little glimpse of their capabilities.
Honestly, they would probably have to find a way to like cut through space or something, or bend space to be able to travel. Because
A black hole.
yeah, there's, like some weird theory like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who knows? But because even if they're even there from like the closest star I think is 4 light years away.
Yeah.
So even if they could travel at the speed of light, it would take them 4 years to get here. You know what I mean? So that's a voyage.
Yeah, absolutely. They can make better time than us, or better than we could ever imagine.
For sure, but I'm saying if they're coming from like, 1,000 light years away or something, it's probably not likely that they sat there for 1,000 years traveling here. You know what I mean? They probably have some way of bending space or something so that they could actually get here in
Yeah,
a reasonable amount of time.
That's so weird to think about that though. That distance, like 1,000 light years. I can't even imagine what 1 light year is really. So
Yeah.
1,000 light years. That's just a whole nother world.
It's so far away. You think how far away the sun is? It takes the light 8 minutes to get here from the sun, which is interesting. So the sun you see is how it existed 8 minutes ago.
Yeah, that is queer, or quite interesting. That's not queer. I didn't mean to say that. That's interesting to think about that. Yeah.
Super gay. Don't science me, bro.
Oh man. But yeah, interesting shit, man. And the Reagan and the Belgian sightings that we talked about in the 80s, thousand different sightings of the same aircraft. I mean, they're definitely not all lying. I mean, I highly believe that this shit exists. We were just talking about this last night. If you don't even entertain the idea that there's extraterrestrial life out there, I think it's more of you caring what other people think about you.
Yeah.
Which is a whole nother topic,
Mhm.
which I actually wrote down, but I don't know if we'll get into that or not. But yeah, caring what other people think is probably part of the why people are like, yeah, whatever, that's cute.
Yeah.
It's completely make believe.
Posturing.
Posturing, yes, but the science, there's just too many facts.
Yeah.
From footage, from credible people. I mean, we got 5-star generals sitting there talking about sightings. I'm gonna believe him.
Yeah.
He has nothing to lose. He has nothing to gain and everything to lose, like we've talked about.
Yeah.
These people are not lying, folks.
I mean, a percentage of people are lying, but
yeah, percentage of
when
it.
you have that many people, it's like they're not all fucking lying. There's no way that they're all lying.
And consistent. Consistency tells truth.
Yeah.
I mean, just like in a case.
Yeah, and it's also not likely that they're all crazy. So.
Exactly. So
Very, very
yeah, if you don't believe in extraterrestrial life or UFOs, I would definitely look into it a little more, because it could be relevant in our life more than you think, and it could also be present in our life in the future in some form, whether or not we're actually visited. Maybe one time we'll get that 900-foot ship coming again, and it just hangs out in the sky for like 2 years, kind of like District 9.
Yeah.
Dude, that
Pretty
was
cool. They made little projection and they start talking to us. They're like, "What's up, humans?" I'll be like, "It's finally happening." I was like, as you were saying that, I was like, I really hope the aliens get exposed during our lifetime. That'd be
Me
super
too.
cool, man.
That
I just
would
want
be
it to
really
happen
cool.
during my lifetime, so I can be like, I lived during that time.
Yeah, I agree. I'm on board with that. Because it would answer some questions, maybe.
I
Like,
answer a lot of questions.
at least we know that they exist. It wouldn't answer the why. That's still the biggest question.
Why do you
but
exist?
Why? What are you doing here? Yeah. Why are you here? Yeah. I mean, but still,
I'd be afraid to ask some certain questions.
what is your intentions?
Also, what happens after you die? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because if they're that much more technologically advanced, they might have found out the answer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I might not like the answer. They might be like, it's literally nothing. And I'll be like, well, I'm just going to go freak out for the rest of my life now. I'm never going to leave ever again because I don't want to die.
It's scary to think about. Yeah. Do you remember that movie District 9?
No, I don't think I've seen it. I mean, I've heard of it.
You should watch it. It's probably one of the best alien movies I've ever seen.
Okay.
It has a very unique take and a premise to the movie. But the reason it made me think about it was probably for a while there. I seen it when it came out, but I'll never forget it because it was so unique of a movie. But the reason it made me think of that was because in that movie there was a giant ship that just hung out for years above there.
Yeah.
And then the humans coexisted with the aliens.
That'd be super cool.
Very unique. You should check it out, man. I think you'd really enjoy that movie, actually.
Yeah.
The technology was in it, the alien weaponry and things like that.
Yeah, I'll check it out. That
Really
makes me
cool.
think it'd be really cool to just coexist with aliens. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Have like a Futurama planet going on. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I'd be down. As long as they're not trying to kill us and shit. Obviously.
Yeah, that's the biggest question. But the malicious intent, is it there?
It doesn't seem likely to me, but
That one?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think exactly like you said. If they had it, they would have done it already. I mean,
Yeah.
unless there's this magic moment where they're waiting for, like, okay, now's the time.
Yeah. Also, there's people have said that there's different types of aliens that are visiting us. So different aliens from different places.
Yeah.
Maybe some of them are hostile, and some of them aren't.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I mean that's an even more exciting topic to think about.
yeah,
and
maybe
scary.
they're up there battling it out. Like, hey, leave the fucking humans alone. And it's like, we're gonna fuck them up.
Maybe the government isn't. There was a conspiracy that the government has a relationship with them. Maybe they have a relationship with the ones that are actually defending us. From, there's so much more that we probably have no
Star
idea.
Wars up there, we don't even know it. We're just like down here, like, oh man, I gotta go get a job. I gotta go to college. And these aliens are like, oh, we're gonna kill them.
Ah, those silly humans. We'll just let them live in their circle. I was gonna say box, but their circle.
Bubble.
Their bubble. There you go.
It's appropriate, unless you believe in flat Earth, which please don't.
Please, yeah, the flat Earth conversation, please, guys.
It drives me fucking crazy, dude. Every time one of my friends posts something about flat Earth on fucking Facebook, I really consider unfriending them. And I usually don't do that about people's opinions, but I'm like, I don't know if I can be friends with someone that believes this shit, dude.
So the same people that believe in flat Earth are the same ones driving around with the fucking mask in their car.
Think so?
You're getting the most fresh air. Get real, people. Don't drive around in your car with your mask on. It's fucking silly. You look idiotic. Roll down your window and get some fresh air. You're not gonna get the coronavirus floating around in your car. Or I don't know what the thought process is.
I don't know, man. I mean, I guess if you're like driving with your window down, someone comes up, sneezes out their window into your window. It doesn't sound likely. I guess it could happen.
I've seen it on the freeway too. I'm like, you guys are, oh my god, man.
Your car has filters though.
That
air
too.
Filters, so there's no way the virus gets there. I don't
It's
think.
silly.
Yeah.
It's silly. It's really silly.
I
So,
think
yeah.
personally, I would just do it just to be lazy. I don't want to take it on and off. So I'm just like, let's put it on, let's go.
First it's the toilet paper. Now it's people driving around with masks on. I mean, there's so many idiotic things going on with this pandemic. You guys aren't being realistic. Be safe, but don't be idiotic about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny. So we talked about, we pretty much covered a lot of what I wanted to talk about with that documentary, with that episode in that documentary, rather.
Okay. You want to write District 9 on there just so I can...
Yes, because I would be interested in watching that again. It's such a good movie.
Hell yeah, dude.
District 9. Give us your reviews on that, guys. We're gonna probably review that and watch it again. I've already seen it. I love that movie. But if you're totally into extraterrestrial and UFOs, I'm sure you enjoyed it just as well. So give us your insight on that movie, because I'm interested to know if anybody enjoyed it as much as I did. It was really cool. But here's a rant. On the way home, driving in cars, there was a cop 2 cars in front of me. Well, yeah, so there's a cop car, and there's 1 car in between me and the cop, right?
Mm-hmm.
The car in between me and the cop had a dog hanging out the window, a pug,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I was thinking, I don't know if that's illegal or not, but out of all the dumb laws that are in place, that should be illegal. I mean, it's distracting.
It's distracting. Also, it's dangerous for the animal.
Yeah, I mean, he's hanging out the window on the driver's lap and just like, doing his panting out the window and stuff. And it was interesting to see that. I was like, I don't know. I'm irritated with people that drive around with their dogs because it's silly. First of all, I have a weird thing. It's funny because I'm vegan, but I'm not big on taking care of animals. You know what I mean? Like,
Me either.
like
really.
cleaning up their shit and just they're so needy. They're so, especially dogs. Dogs are smart, but they're not able to live. Like, if you threw a dog out in the wild, it would die. It wouldn't be able to find any food. It wouldn't be able to kill.
At least the breeds that we've made, basically.
The domesticated, exactly.
Yeah.
So the,
Obviously, wolves can, but...
yeah, where they derive from, exactly. But even a cat hasn't been evolved much to the point to where it could survive. You know what I mean? Like,
I think cats can, though.
that's what I'm saying. The cat isn't as
Oh,
vulnerable
it's not
as
as
the dog.
domesticated as
You can
the
throw
dog.
a cat in the wild, it's gonna survive. It
Mhm.
still has that predatory instinct. That's why they kill birds and mice and shit still.
Yeah.
they still are not that much evolved into domestication to where they've lost all of their carnivorous, survival instincts.
Yeah.
So in that regard, dogs are just a waste of, I don't know. Dogs are interesting. The dogs are only there. My suspicion is people own dogs and all animals, to be fair. Mainly dogs though, because it's a companionship. It's filling a need for the owner. It's not very rare is it's the owner doing something for the dog. I know there's a rescue, the people get rescue dogs and things of that nature, but a lot of people use that as an excuse as well. But ultimately, I have a suspicion that people are having a dog and owning a dog for their own purpose.
Yeah, I've been thinking that lately too. It's for emotional reasons.
Emotional reasons, yeah. And especially because dogs are so helpless.
Yeah. I mean, they've done science behind it too. Dogs make people happier, which is fucking...
Okay.
Which is... statistically. So.
But that's because it's filling a need. I mean, having a companion makes people happy, right?
Yeah.
If you had a partner, I had a partner, I'd be happier too.
Yeah, and I think it's because dogs are sometimes usually more loyal than humans are. You know? You know what I mean?
Because they rely on you.
Yeah, exactly.
They're so they're like a baby.
Like your dog's not gonna cheat on you. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. They're much like a baby.
Your dog's not gonna be like, I'm sick of your shit, I'm leaving. You know, so.
You gotta clean their shit. Babies, you gotta wipe their ass. You gotta make sure that you're watching a close eye on them. Or they're gonna, they could get into trouble.
Tear up the couch or some stupid shit.
Yeah, or just get away. You're worried about them getting away, you know what I mean? Same thing with the child, the baby. You're worried about them running out in the street.
Mm-hmm.
Really relative to a baby.
Yeah.
But less maintenance.
Yeah, less maintenance.
Less maintenance, yeah. But it always makes me wonder, people that own dogs, like, and I love dogs, but I'm just not interested in owning one. I have no need to own one.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested in owning one, but that's just because I think it's personally because I'm getting over dating. So I'm like, maybe I'll just get a fucking dog instead. You know what I mean? And that'll fill that fucking void that I feel. You know what I mean?
Man.
I'd be like, I'm just a man and his dog, you know?
And then you're gonna get a girlfriend with the dog.
I know. Well, then I'll have everything, because even if the bitch leaves me, I'll still have the dog.
She wants that.
She'll steal the dog. Though,
yeah, exactly.
You know? That's what'll happen. I'll be like, I finally got my life partner, this dog, dude.
She's like, fuck you, I want your dog, dude.
Yeah, dude. I'll be like, dude, that's a husky. I paid $1,200 fucking dollars. Bring it back, okay? I know it's not it's a being, but like I paid for that being, so. You're
like advertising your dog when you have a relationship. Like he can fill your need, dude, emotional need.
Dude, Tony,
I can't, but he can.
Tony got a puppy, a husky.
Yeah.
He's like using the pictures on Tinder because it's just. No, it's like, dude.
There's a science behind that.
It totally works too. I thought about it. I'm like, you imagine me with a fucking cute dog on Tinder? It's gonna be all over for all y'all, okay?
Oh my god.
Get all of the women. All of them.
Dogs, man. It's interesting, but yeah. The dogs in the car is silly. People stop that, please. Leave them at home and you can have them for your own self-absorbed reasons.
But, I mean, I guess sometimes you have to transport your dog somewhere, but...
Yeah.
Like taking your dog to the fucking grocery store.
It's silly, dude.
Leaving your dog in the car while you're in the grocery store.
And then they take it a step further by, carrying them in purses and all these, makeshift things to transport them.
I fucking hate people having their animals in public.
It's annoying.
Their dogs come up to you and they I don't know I don't know your hygiene. I don't know if you've been vaccinated by your owner.
Not only that.
And then the owners are always like, oh, he's
nice.
friendly. Yeah, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I don't want your animal near me. Just because you're comfortable with your animal doesn't mean that I am, and I shouldn't have to be. And I shouldn't be subjected to your animal fucking jumping on me.
Exactly.
With his fucking dirty paws.
I agree, and I absolutely hate that when dog or animal owners impose their pet on you like that. I hate that. First of all, I have this feeling or this awareness that animals are animals. I mean, they possibly could attack for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I don't want to take the chance. I don't want to know what the reason is. I'm not interested. I know that they're an animal and they could do it, especially around my daughter.
Yeah.
When there's a big dog and they're like, oh, he's nice. I'm like, sweetheart, I want you to still be careful around. Don't get up in his space. Don't, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that just happened recently, actually. It was a super nice dog. But then he even told me, he took a step further and told me about an incident that he snapped at a kid. And I'm like, okay, Malia. And he's like, you know, rubbing up on her and like being super nice, right?
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, he's an animal. He
Yeah.
comes from fucking wolf family. You know what I mean? So that predatory instinct is there, and the, you know, who knows why they do that stuff? You
You
know.
know, I mean, it's just like humans too. Humans are animals, and
Yeah.
humans snap and kill people and shit.
That being said, we have crazy humans, right? We have chemical imbalances in humans. There's dogs out there that also are mentally unstable. There's animals out there that are mentally
Yeah, I had
unstable.
a friend that had a
And-
fucking crazy dog.
They're harder to diagnose. I don't know if they even have the technology to diagnose that on an animal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
we're left to guess on
Yeah, because you can like talk about your symptoms to a therapist or something.
Exactly.
Dog can't talk about its fucking symptoms.
Exactly. I've always thought about that, man. You know, there's mentally unstable animals, you know, just like there are, you know, murderers and rapists and things like that. People that just are messed up in the head and they make bad choices. Well, hate to break it to you guys, there's animals that make bad choices as well. So be safe. Don't get up in their space. I don't care how friendly they are. I mean, you're taking a risk. You're taking a risk. Let's just, I mean, just know that you're taking a risk, I guess. I'm not saying avoid all these animals, but I am saying be careful.
Dude, when I was a fucking delivery driver, it's fucking annoying, dude.
When you were a delivery driver?
Yeah, people would knock on
Animals.
people's doors and the fucking dog would jump on me.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you knew I was coming. You fucking
Should
called.
have put him in the room.
You called me and said, hey, come bring me a fucking pizza. And I come and you don't have your fucking dog away so it won't fucking jump on me. Like, you're an asshole.
Yeah.
I would literally glare at people.
Oh god, that bothers me when I'm all dressed up for appointments.
Mhm.
The neighbor's dog just did that to me. I went to go check the mail and come back and I'm suited up, you know, I got my slacks on and he just runs up and jumps on me and gets marks on my freaking brown slacks. I was like, He's like, sorry, he's just friendly. I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's great and all, he's friendly and like, I'm friendly too.
You're like, hey, these pants cost $200 fucking dollars.
yeah, I'm like, you know, hey, I'm friendly too, but I ain't destroying people's tire, you know.
Did you say that?
No.
That would have been,
That's what I was thinking.
that would have been gangster, dude.
Yeah. He's a nice dude, but people
You should have been like, I'm not friendly.
people have no animal etiquette. We
Yeah.
need to teach animal etiquette. We should start
For
a
real.
business teaching animal etiquette. Don't steal our idea because this could be big. Yeah, animal etiquette. We should definitely do this. I mean, shit. We could do etiquette on a ton of topics actually.
Yeah. It's totally fine. Yeah. This is, you know, what's interesting is like some people go to these dog parks and they go and pet everyone's dogs. And that's
Yeah.
great, but like, don't bring your dog to me. I don't, you know, fuck that.
Not everybody wants your dog all over them. Not everybody wants to see your dog. Not everybody thinks your dog's cute.
I
It's
really
kind of like
hate-
babies. Not
I-
every baby's cute either.
Dude, you know what is worse than them jumping on me? I can kind of get over that, but them licking my fucking hand.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh no. I'm like, I don't even know you, and now I have your fucking nasty germs from your mouth on my fucking hand.
But dogs have the cleanest mouths in the world, right?
That was a myth. That's not even true.
Who buys into that shit, man? The dog's
Yeah,
mouth is the cleanest mouth in the world.
I never heard that one, but I heard that it was cleaner than humans, which is
Have you seen Mr. Pickles? He licks his balls in the intro. I mean, I don't know if you guys know this, but dogs lick their balls.
would you
But
would
it's the
you if you
cleanest-
could, you know?
It's the cleanest mouth. I mean, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I think they do.
I'd try it.
I try it
At least
probably.
once, you know?
I mean, I think that they're doing it because it itches, and I got hands for that. So.
Yeah. They might be doing it for hygiene reasons too. Like maybe they are
Okay.
like bathing themselves, you know? so-
Okay. I don't want to bathe my balls with my tongue, though.
I mean, they don't have showers,
That's
though.
their only option, yes. But if I had that option, I'm like, yeah, I like the shower option.
Yeah, oh, dude, that'd actually be awful. You imagine like cleaning off your funk with your.
Oh,
You're not-
no, dude. Thinking about that is weird.
That's disgusting.
Oh, man. So,
And
yeah.
then your mouth would just smell like balls. I'm trying to pick up chicks while your mouth smells like balls, dude.
Pardon me, I just licked my balls now. You understand, right?
This
funny.
was conversation went in a weird direction.
Right? How did we talk about got dogs licking their balls? Yeah.
You brought it up, sir. Okay.
It's a thing, man. So yeah. Yeah. Animal etiquette is really what I would want to drive home. Animal etiquette. Keep your dogs to yourself. Keep them on a leash. God, it's annoying. So dogs and cars. That was my rant.
Okay.
I think I already talked about how it's hard to find good help.
Not this podcast.
Not this podcast. Okay,
You
well,
might have brought it up before though, but I'm
in
sure.
case you guys didn't know that, if you're looking for help, it's really hard. I've been doing it for a while now, for like 5 years, in different businesses that I've started, in different endeavors that I've taken. It's extremely hard to find good help for many reasons, because nobody, well, for one, the main reason is nobody cares about whatever it is you're doing as much as you do, or as much as you've invested in it. Anything, time, money, anything you've done. And I think a lot of that, I think the conversation entered my mind today was because I did get help I needed, but it was hard finding good help. And that's the story of my life lately. Trying to lock in a good employee and things like that. And there's a lot of excuses that come with that. I've hired a lot of people, and it always turns into something that they project on to me when I'm talking about my situation. They project something onto me as to why it doesn't work for them. Which is funny, because
like it's your fault that they're.
yeah.
See, when I worked at the I was just straight up. I was just like, this isn't my line of work, man. I don't fucking like
Yeah,
this
I
stuff.
appreciate that. No one's ever done that, but that's exactly.
Really?
But that's exactly what it is. That's the reality of it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's tough, and nobody wants to do tough stuff. Everybody wants to take the path of least resistance, which is, I don't know. We're all humans, and we want to take the path of least resistance. But on the other side of that, we all know deep down, even the laziest person knows deep down that taking the path of least resistance is not the way to gain or to progress or to advance in anything that you're trying to do or want to do.
Right.
And so taking that step is where people have a hard time doing it, because I'm the same way. Even as much ambition as motivation I have, I want the path of least resistance too.
And you know what's interesting is it's really, once you get momentum, you can keep it going.
Yeah.
It's the initial starting up of anything that's hard.
Yeah.
It's like for me, like right now, for instance, getting in this funk. It's like once I get out of the funk, I'll be fine. But motivating myself to get out of it in general is the hardest part.
Yeah, I agree. It's consistency that is the hardest part about it. But what helps me personally, because like I said, I am very similar to you and everybody else. The brain naturally wants the path of least resistance. It craves predictability, like I said, and it's just a primitive thing. You know what I mean? The brain, the croc part of the brain wants things fast, and it wants things figured out real quick. It doesn't want to send up information to your neural cortex about something it can easily figure out, because that's the biggest part of your brain that requires so much energy,
Right.
figuring stuff out. So it really, the croc part of the brain is a governor and a barrier in the first line of defense.
It kind of makes sense though. Your brain's trying to preserve as much energy as possible, so it doesn't have to take in more resources.
That's the primitive part of it, because back in the day, it was very simplistic. You eat, you fuck, you fight, and that's pretty much it. You look for indicators of you're in survival mode.
You take in energy, you make more of yourself, and then you die. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to it, and so it was very easy back then to use the majority of your croc brain as a survival mechanism now, and so it still plays a role. It's just a lot different now, because times have changed, obviously, and we're not in that survival mode anymore.
Yeah.
We are, but different aspects now. We really have more than what we need. At least over here in America, we're very privileged.
Yeah. Now we just have a different part of our brain that's kind of fucking up. A lot of people are getting anxiety.
Yeah.
The stress that you wouldn't really have before from just modern. You know, we're not really built for this modern society that we have, you know?
Yeah, probably not.
Like, a lot of people, like, you know, sitting in cars and working in offices and stuff. It's just like, we're not really designed to do that.
Yeah. God, that gives me, that's a topic right there.
That's a lot. That's why I didn't even go into it too much, because it's like we're closing in on here. But like, you could totally write that down.
For next week, I'm gonna write that down because I love talking about that. Actually,
that's a good topic.
What humans were really designed to do, and what we are forced to do now to survive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me write this down before I forget. Bam.
Nice.
Interesting thing though, but yeah, it's hard to find good help. Path of least resistance is what people want, but I would encourage people to the reason why I'm able to make steps and enforce my faith by taking action and pushing through the part of my brain that wants to take the path of least resistance. It's because I've accepted the fact that I already know that's not going to advance me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I already know that that's not going to do me any good. Matter of fact, that's going to keep me behind.
Right.
And especially the older I get, I'm on a time crunch, man. Like, these are things I have goals that I want to hit, and time is not of essence anymore.
Time was never of essence. It was just an illusion.
Yeah.
The older you get, the more you realize that you're running on borrowed time, basically.
Absolutely. And then you think, you know, the older you get, you're like, you know, if I live to be 60, it's funny because thinking about when you're gonna die.
You always thought this.
Yeah.
I heard you say this when you were younger.
Thinking about when you're gonna die is such a huge amount of years. So there's people that die at 60, right? There's people that die at 80. That's a 20-year difference.
Yeah.
How much shit you can get done in 20 years?
I know, isn't that fucking crazy?
That is crazy. So I kind of operate under the under the hope that I will live, because there's no other way to you know, it's hope. Mm-hmm. I hope I can, and you know, obviously I take action by eating well, and you know, don't drink and smoke like I used to and things like that. But I just think of it as I'm gonna live till I'm 80, so I really got like 50 some odd years left, and that's a lot of time. But if, you know, I feel bad for the people that die at like 50, 60. That's insane, man.
Even younger than that, like my mom, you know.
Yeah.
She was what, 42, 41, something like that.
Well, that part, the unseen, unforeseen events like that is always on everybody's mind, and that can happen to all of us, which is another reason why you should just live your best life.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about like natural.
Yeah, I know. I was just saying, you might have even less time than you think if you have an accident. So
good point. So time is really not of essence, because it and you know, I had that conversation with my daughter as well.
Yeah.
About how any one of us could die. That's another reason why I think that death conversation could come is good. I think I already talked about this a little bit, but basically wanted to let her know that we're all very vulnerable to death.
You're gonna die one day.
You should value. No, I didn't.
I know.
I didn't say that. I didn't put that in her brain, but I did put the fact that I'm gonna die. Drop my damn pen. I made the fact that I'm gonna die to her, and that's not an easy conversation to have with a child. You know what I mean? Because she thinks I'm always gonna be around, and I had to break that to her. You know, and as a 7-year-old, like, you know, I'm not gonna always be here for you. And this is why I value my time with you. This is why we have to make the most of this time. This is why not just me, but everybody you care about, you should really make the most of that time, and you should really, you know, value that, and not just kind of drone out in it so much, take it for granted. And you know, a lot of that she doesn't understand yet. This is what I was talking about having adult conversations with her, and I'm not just talking about me. Like, I think more parents, some do, a lot do actually, but I like that when they have those adult conversations, because they're gonna remember these conversations sometime in their future, and it's still not a waste of conversation. So I don't know. It's good stuff.
I almost feel like the not taking it for granted, like that people are there. You know what I mean? at least in my experience, has to be learned, you know, from it actually happening to you.
Yeah.
Because when no one important in your life has died yet, it's really hard to
Oh, absolutely.
fully grasp the
Yeah.
notion of it. So
It really hits you when you just know you're never going to see that person again, and that's the sad part of it. I remember like when, you know, my first friend, so my first friend Josh Miller, when he died, you know, I seen him days before he died.
yeah,
So it's very relevant in my life. I grew up with him for years, since middle school. So I'd known him about 8 years or so. And when he died, I had this thing happening to me for about a year after that where I thought he was still alive. Does that make sense?
yeah,
I seen similar cars driving around. I'm like, oh, there's Josh. I was like, he died though. Did he die? And I'm like questioning it. So that's the type of shit you're talking about. Like, it doesn't affect you until it happens closely, and then you actually put it together, and you're like, wow, I'm really not gonna ever see that person again.
yeah. You know what? Actually, to piggyback off that, I have been having these fucked up dreams. I just remembered. I keep having dreams where my mom's alive, and then I wake up and I realize that she's not here anymore. And those dreams are really fucking sad.
Yeah, that's sad, man.
I mean, they're not sad at the time. I'm like happy in my dreams. You know what I mean? And I wake up and then I'm sad.
That's sad, but I don't know. That's kind of cool on the other. You know what I mean?
It's like I get some more time with her, I guess.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Because they're like vivid too. So
Are they good dreams?
Yeah, like they're good.
That's cool.
Like I'm not fighting with her in my dreams or anything. I'm like just hanging out with her. Obviously I don't realize I'm in the dream, and then I wake up. I'm like, no, obviously I'm sad when I wake up, but
yeah, that's really cool, man. I wish I could have that with people that have passed away.
yeah. And I've had like at least 2 over the last week or 2. So
Nice. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, it's I mean, to me that sounds really cool, dude, that you actually have had dreams like that.
yeah, I mean it's like a double-edged sword. It's cool and also really sad at the same time. So
Yeah, but it's better, in my opinion, it's almost better than not having that dream, right? Would you say?
yeah, probably.
I think so.
Like
Overall, it's keeping the memory of her alive.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
So interesting how in your dreams too you can like perfectly replicate someone's voice and everything. You know
Yes.
what I mean? So in their mannerisms and it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
your brain has that stored in your brain and it just will create that. If dreams are just in your brain, if
Yeah.
it's like an alternate universe, then obviously that's a different thing. Who fucking knows?
Yeah. It's fascinating because I don't think I've had a dream with Selena yet, so.
Okay, yeah.
And I haven't really had a dream with anybody that has passed away. I wish I had. That was really cool because I've got a lot of memories with, you know, your mom.
Yeah.
Got a lot of good memories with her growing up and stuff, and so I always worry when people pass away that those memories disappear.
I've been really worried about that too. I'm like, what if I forget what her fucking face looks like? What if I forget what her voice sounded like? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Well,
that hasn't
that's
happened
scary.
for me with her.
In
Especially.
modern day with you know Facebook and stuff, like there's videos of her talking.
Oh,
on
yeah,
there,
yeah.
and obviously her pictures are all over there, so it's like
God, that's such a weird thing now, huh?
Mhm.
Remember back in the day? Well, I don't know. I guess you would also remember back in the day that you didn't have that.
photo books. You know?
There's an obituary. You go to a funeral. And that's it.
Yeah, it's like I don't have
Pictures after that. That's it.
Yeah, some pictures, and it's like, yeah, for instance, like my grandma Bassel or like some of my older relatives that died when I was younger. I don't have anything like that.
Now you can revisit conversations and messages and stuff that
Yeah.
you've had with dead people.
Yeah,
That is a weird concept now to me.
it's very nice.
It is cool because I have checked conversations with someone that like when little Josh passed away. I was looking at all our conversations prior to that too. I was like, this is crazy.
The thing about that though is it almost makes it seem not real. I don't know if it's like that for you, but for me, okay, maybe it's just me, but like just like seeing the profile, seeing the messages.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff, it's just like,
Kind of like me
It's
seeing
like-
Josh Miller's car driving around.
yeah, it's like feels like you're still here, but you're not.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can relate because it's just like what I said when I had Josh Miller pass away. I still had this weird thought that he was still alive.
Yeah.
It's real similar. It's crazy. I think it's the brain trying to keep them vividly alive in your head.
You also just don't want to. Your brain doesn't want to believe it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's traumatic, man.
Mm.
You know, it's traumatic to have shared emotions and time with somebody and then they're just gone. It's super, it's sad, man. There's really no way around it, and you have to process that. And the thing about that is we're all in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody is the exception with that. We're all going to experience death in our life. That's the crazy thing. There's not some people that experience it more or less. Oh yeah, that's the only thing. Some people experience it more or less, but we're going to experience it, and you always got to go through it. And that's another thing. You got to process it. It's tough to process though. Everybody processes things at their own pace as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. Man,
Close on that morbid, sad note.
yeah, we could, but we got a few minutes. There's one more thing I was gonna say. I like, since it made me think of this because as I was talking about earlier, I literally worked a 10-hour day and then got here 15 minutes prior to our podcast, which I love the podcast. It makes me chill, gets me in that relaxed mode. I look forward to it, you know, especially after doing a long, hard day. Even if I'm doing sales, like sales is really mentally draining on me, whether it's physical labor or manual labor or mental labor. It's just taxing. And so it's nice to kick back, look forward to this, and just kind of unload a lot of my thoughts. Yeah, it's just really cool. I really appreciate it. But yeah, as I was coming in, I was like, man, I really envy you, and I envy everybody that has the luxury of time.
Yeah, I'm one of the first people to say, who was I talking? I was talking to someone recently, but I was like, I feel bad for all the people that are essential, all the people that have to go to work and
Yeah,
they can't. Like, I'm really lucky. I mean,
know.
in a sense, I'm unlucky. I mean, we're all in a shitty situation, so I'm not any unluckier than most people. So, but I am lucky in the sense that I'm not forced to, you know, go out.
You don't have like the lot of the pressure that the majority of people might have. I don't even know if this is a majority really, but the pressure that some people have.
Yeah, I mean, I have income that's just coming in. I don't have to work for it. I mean, I have to go to school for it, which is a different type of work, but you know what I mean.
Well, the stimulus check.
Yeah,
That type of stuff.
too. But yeah, and then besides that, I don't really have to do anything. So besides doing my homework,
It's really time that I envy from people because I have so much going on that it's like I have to carve out and put in a schedule everything I do. And so I'm like, oh man, it'd be nice to be a 16-year-old again. And
that's one of the reasons I went back to college though too, is because I wanted to be able to live my life a little bit before I get a good job from going to college and have to spend all my time
having your time occupied.
Yeah, exactly. So I figured might as well live life now while I can.
Yeah, the thing about it, once you get in that, it's like a fucking vortex and a tornado that your life is that now.
Oh, well, I mean, before the pandemic, I was filling up my time with stuff that I didn't have to do, but I wanted to. Like, I was going to work out, I was going on dates, you know what I mean? I was hanging out with my friends, you know.
Yeah, a different type of applied time.
Yeah, I was spending time on my physical health, mental health, you know, relationships with people, you know, with friends and girls and stuff. So I felt like I was applying my time appropriately, something that was useful.
Yeah, and that goes kind of into the topic we were talking about where
what are we
people were designed, meant to do, exactly. You know what I mean? Like, because now we're talking about people feel obligated. Well, they are obligated. They have to do, you know, have to chase currency, really. More, and lack of better words, the biggest stress that everybody has primitively is that we're chasing currency because that's what it takes to live, and that's what it takes to live prosperous and to get things you want. The statement that people say, you know, well, money doesn't buy happiness. Oh boy,
it does to an extent.
It buys you freedom, and freedom everybody wants.
I'm just saying, if you're poor and you get money, you will be happier, at least temporarily.
Absolutely.
So money can buy happiness.
Money's not everything. I can get on board with that.
Money's
not everything.
Money's not going to get you contentment. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to be like, I feel happy with everything in my life.
It's the conduit to where you want to be, though.
Yeah, because being content is more of like a long-term feeling, whereas being happy is kind of more of a fleeting feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, in the moment.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
oh wow, that made me so happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's not realistic to be happy all the time anyway. But you can be content all the time, even if you're like, oh, I'm not really happy right now, but you're like, my life's pretty good. So I mean.
Yeah. No, I don't believe in the term that money doesn't buy happiness, but I can get on board with that money isn't everything.
Definitely. I really live by that motto a lot. People always, I don't know, I'm really fine with spending money.
You still need money. Money isn't everything, but you absolutely need money, and you need a lot of it if you want to get that freedom.
But like, yeah, my friends and like especially girls I go out with are always like really surprised at the amount of money that I'm willing to just spend. But I'm always just like, I'd rather just spend the money and have a great experience with you than just save this money for whatever else selfish reason I'm gonna spend it on. Like, I've paid my bills, so I'll spend, you know, like go on a $300 date or whatever. Like, hey man, we're gonna go out to a bunch of bars and I'll spend like $200 fucking dollars. My friend's like, dude, what the fuck? And I'm like,
I'm the same way, yeah.
Like, we're having a good fucking time, dude. Let's have a good time. I don't want to
fucking
worry about money, dude.
Yeah, you gotta have a good time in the moment.
Mm.
It's a lot. I mean, it's an easy trap to get into where you're so focused on money that you start conserving. You're in
once I start conserving money, that's when I feel like I stop enjoying things.
Yeah,
and it's really painful. So
that makes sense. That's half the reason why I'm not so great at managing money either. That's because I enjoy things, and when I want something, I don't focus on the price. I also sell my things that way. I really advocate that you should not base your buying decision strictly on price. You know what I mean? You got Grant Cardone said this one thing, and I thought it was so funny, and I totally believe it, though a lot of people would not agree with this, but if you can't afford something already, you might as well buy something you want. Like, if you're pricing out something that's a little more, right? Like if you're buying a car, for instance, and you see the 2018 that's a lot better than the 2002 or whatever, but we're talking thousands of dollars different. Like, you already can't really afford the cheaper one.
Yeah.
If you can't afford it, get what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree.
Same thing of looking here at my amp. Like, I couldn't afford this. It's still on credit. You know what I mean? But my amp and my guitar together with like the pedal and everything was like $1,100. Like, I didn't have $1,100 to buy a fucking guitar and amp, but I fucking wanted it. You know what I mean?
Most people do think that's just a silly fucking idea right there, or silly thought process.
Yeah.
But I actually can get behind that. I agree. And that kind of goes in dovetails on what you were saying as far as like live in the moment. It's more important to create these memories, not get in that conserve mode, save, and it's damaging.
Yeah. You think of like I don't know if you ever heard these stories, like the woman who fucking ate ramen for 30 years or whatever, or she only ate oatmeal or whatever for like 30 years, and now she's a millionaire. It's like, did you even enjoy those 30 years?
Yeah.
Like, first of all, and you only have $1 million, which sounds like a lot on paper, but like, you ate oatmeal your entire life to have $1 million.
Now she doesn't eat oatmeal though.
Maybe. She's probably dead by now.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying. And that's
sacrificing.
That's also that's something I'm on board with, sacrificing though. So it's like a slippery slope of a conversation. Like, I agree what you're saying, but also I don't want to get too wrapped up in basically the thought process of saving, but I also am very realistic that I'm not going to make it to where I want without huge sacrifices.
Yeah, there are periods of time where I won't do that, where I won't be blowing money for good occasions, because I'm like, all right, I need to save up some money now for whatever fucking reason, or you know what I mean? I need to. You have to save money for something. I need to buy something, or I got bills or whatever, so I just can't.
There's a way to compensate in there. It's just you shouldn't go one way or the other. Yeah, if someone told me, hey, you're going to be a millionaire if you just eat ramen for 30 years and oatmeal, I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do it.
I
mean, I'll eat those things. I'm not gonna eat them every day, all day.
So that tells you how much sacrifice I'm willing to make some fucking sacrifices, but 30 years of ramen, I just ain't. I almost kind of did that already, Not 30 years, but definitely probably a good 10 years of ramen.
Yeah, for real. I enjoyed it, but you know what I mean.
Through my childhood years, absolutely. But yeah, we pretty much gotten through everything we were going to talk about.
Well, this podcast actually went better than I thought it was going to go.
Yeah, me too. I didn't have much. I mean, we spent a lot of time talking about reviewing Hangar 1 episode, Space Weapons, but that was really fascinating to watch that. So hopefully everybody enjoyed that episode. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out because it is super cool. And just start watching that documentary so that when we talk about the next episode, it'll kind of resonate with you what we're talking about. And if you're excited about it, that's even better. But yeah, we covered a lot of stuff, and also I like the fact that we got some
new stuff.
Some new stuff on the spot. Usually, I'm kind of thinking that on the off time, like, oh yeah, we should be talking about this and that.
Yeah, it's usually like we don't even have it until like the day before, maybe 2 days before the podcast. Like, okay, we gotta watch this stuff and just This is a
good.
week ahead of time, so
This is good. We're just gonna stockpile stuff to review and stuff to talk about and topics.
Also, if you guys want us to review any specific topics, if we find them interesting, at least leave a comment.
Give us some reviews. We've already reviewed some songs from Death Priest. Any movies, documentaries, we're completely interested in doing that and providing our insight in that and our opinion and having a fruitful conversation about that as well. So
just no troll shit.
Yeah, don't troll, don't be silly. Like, we're here to have we're here to have a fun time too, but I don't know. I like some real interesting stuff. We're more focused on having thought-provoking conversations.
I mean, I'll watch stuff that's entertaining. I just mean don't actually troll us. Be like,
yeah.
I'll watch this cool documentary and it's like fucking Rickroll. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I guess that would be kind of funny, but like, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. We don't want to spend an hour talking about
time
meaningless stuff. Yeah. Well, maybe, I don't know. Maybe you'll get an episode where we dedicate meaningless conversation to it. But
I mean, like don't be like, hey, go check out this documentary. Like a picture of a dick. You know what I mean? I mean, I guess it's still funny, but I'll be like,
it'd be funny. But
if you guys do it regularly, I'll be like, this is getting real fucking old, dude.
Yeah, good stuff. So yeah, we're gonna check out some stuff. We're gonna look into the pyramids, Antikythera, secret societies, the Neil Armstrong thing. I mean, we got a lot of stuff.
Actually a lot of interesting stuff that I like to talk about anyway.
We're gonna check out District 9. I think you're gonna love that movie.
Hell yeah.
And then we're just gonna
see if it's on the interwebs.
Heck yeah. All right, guys. Well, I hope this was a good episode. Hope you guys enjoyed some of it. What we were talking about. The majority of it was conspiracy talk, it seemed like, but we had some other stuff we were talking about too, which I really appreciate.
Yeah.
And give us your thoughts, give us your comments, give us something, give us everything.
Everything. Give us everything.
I want your soul. But yeah, man, you got anything else?
Nah, I think we accomplished everything. I don't know.
Sweet. Well, we're signing out. We're gonna keep our one line, or
it's one-liner.
Well, two-liner actually. Keep it viral.
Keep it contagious.
There we go.
All right, bye.
Later, guys. See you Wednesday.
Yeah.